My name is Kristen Weaver, and I work with, well, so we CVO Holding, but we just recently changed names, so we're now Prepass. We are heavy in the transportation business. We work for Prepass toll, like if you've heard of Prepass on the freeways, the tolling and bypassing and that type of thing. So we work in that business, and we do create, we do develop the software, and we also create the transponders that will go into the trucks on the freeways that will then, read by the sensors and let them know whether they can pass or have to stop during the tolls. Um, we have we I guess we went from 4 locations to down to 2. So we had 2 offices. We have our main headquarters office is in Phoenix, Arizona, where I am located, and then we have our call center office, which is in West Valley, Utah. We have a total of, we're more than 360 employees total. We do have several remote site system techs that are sort of scattered nationwide. Our other 2 locations was a production data center and a non-production data center, one being located in Denver, Colorado, and the second being located in Phoenix, Arizona. So you helped me in both our Denver location and our Phoenix, Arizona location for the data centers on both of those fronts. So I reached out, and as we were looking to decommission our data center sites, as we've been moving to Azure Cloud, so we needed to dispose of our the enormous amounts of hardware that we had in our data center locations. So when we planned for the first decommission, reached out to you and your company to start scheduling to see if you had availability and that type of thing. So we started with our Denver center first, and then just scheduled a white glove removal, which was basically a de-racking of all of the equipment that was in the 2 cabinets that we had at that location, and then moving those and then taking those away to environmentally dispose of, and then provide a destruction certificate. That was the first project. That project went so well, and was very seamless. When we scheduled our Phoenix, Arizona data center decommission, then it made only sense to reach back out to see if you had availability in Phoenix as well, which thankfully you did. And then we scheduled the same. Basically had the same amount, 2 cabinets worth of equipment, scheduled a site visit with the technicians to do the white glove removal, which is the de-racking of everything, and then the moving and then taking that away for the deconstruction, if you will, or the destruction. Sorry. There were many steps in the just in the scheduling process and the approval process, which was, starting with just submitting anybody who was going to be there, along with the correct forms of insurance certificates for the company to cover for regardless of what it was, and then scheduling and coordinating between multiple vendors, not vendors, but multiple techs that were coming out, and then allowing the data centers enough time, an adequate amount of time to review and then approve the orders. So there was quite a few steps involved on both sides. Yeah. Before I enlisted you folks for both of those projects,
Mhm.
I don't know if I was in the role to vet out and determine, for the recyclers. So we did have a previous location with a lot of equipment, and I believe that our IT department handled the decommissioning of that equipment as well. And so then that had been probably several years ago. And then I think just different responsibilities shifted. And then I had received your information. And I think it was somebody just reaching out, in all honesty, that, hey, we do this, we're recyclers. And I'm like, oh, that's good to know, because I think I have something coming. Let me, and so I basically held on to the information for almost, I want to say maybe a year, 8 months to a year or something, before I think we were really ready to schedule the project. And so when we were, I'm like, I have somebody to use. So, and then I reached out to get the quote to find out, and then once we got the quote and then saw that you offered the white glove removal with the certificate for the deconstruction, it just seemed like it was the best scenario to go with. It was exactly what I needed. I did definitely learn because I hadn't used you or a different recycler before that it was, that was quite that we quite, had to, I guess, have so many details, right? Because of the
Hmm.
logistics of these two projects, if you will. Um, so it was, I mean, it turned out exactly as I wanted. I think the first time was it was quite a bit more involved for the Denver Center, just personally, and I
Hmm.
think maybe because it was our first time, and there was just just between the two, the data center requirements, and then your requirements with the technicians and the timing and that kind of thing. That made the Phoenix one go so much better. So it was just more logistical, kind of working it out, but. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, and I mean, I don't know, why I should have been surprised, but I was at the rate in which the technicians, they were all very hospitable and very personable, and then they got right to work, and it didn't take them no time at all to get things, to decommissioned and de-racked, and they were just very efficient, I felt, and they communicated well. So if there was any questions, or if they ran into anything or whatever as the project was going on, because I was sort of right there available, um, they took care of it, and they addressed it. They made the phone call if they needed to make a phone call, and then it was all good. I say if the unexpected benefit was that you completed it very quickly. Like, it didn't take any
Hmm.
time at all. I definitely scheduled a longer day, if you will. Um,
Hmm.
more time, just because just because I didn't know what to quite expect. And so just to be able to actually, I want to say, like, sit back uh, and watch the production, and they finished
Hmm.
it so quickly. So that was definitely a bonus. You and your company are very easy to work with, and you're very prompt, and you're very knowledgeable in what you do. Any questions at all that come up, you guys were right, like spot on answering, and making, and even with the deadlines, I know there was back and forth. There was multiple, like, I need this now, and back and forth. You're very prompt, and you made it easy to schedule and work with. That's for sure. So I would share that, as well as the competency, and the politeness of everybody involved. I mean, from the techs that got there to take the equipment away to those that came to pick it up. Everybody was very polite and just very efficient. So I would definitely share that. And I actually have with different departments in my organization here that were looking at other things. So I've been sharing your name.